Hey everybody, my name is Lowell and welcome to the channel. So we've got a reaction video for us today. This is Waymo, the real driverless car has arrived. Now, we come across this in one other video and I thought we'd do another video on it just to see what's going on. This is Unbox Therapy on YouTube. So let's jump in and let's have a look at this.
So I'm currently in Los Angeles. Actually got invited out here by Waymo to come check out their driverless vehicles, which are now operating in the Los Angeles area. You may have heard of Waymo operating in San Francisco and Arizona. These are driverless vehicles that will take you from point A to point B without a driver. Nobody sitting in the driver's seat.
I don't think, well, I haven't heard of it in Australia. When I saw it on the other video, it's just like, wait, what? What is going on? I've never seen that. Completely driverless. Nobody in it.
The application is somewhat familiar if you've ever used any type of ride app. The difference here is there's no driver in the driver's seat. There's a variety of sensors and components that make this possible. But anyway, I'm gonna go take a ride, take you along with me, and let's see what it's like to move around LA without a driver. I'm about to lock in a destination here. It gives me an estimated drop-off time, and it also spots my existing location. So it's now telling me that the car will be there in 14 minutes. Car is less than a minute away now. There it is.
Oh my God.
The Waymo driverless car. Wow.
There's no driver. There is no driver. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. There's a lot of sensors on the car. You can see there's a lot of sensors. But I don't know if I'm ready for no driver in the car.
What a crazy futuristic looking deal. Now, this is based on an I-Pace. We obviously have tons of cameras as well. Ready for pickup. And I've got a button that says unlock.
Ah,
the door handles extend, open up. Cool.
Good morning, Lewis.
Oh my God, that is kind of creepy and kind of fascinating at the same time.
Good morning, Lewis.
What the heck?
So then we've got this display here. We've also got some USB ports back here. You can see the driver's seat is pushed all the way forward because, well,
there's nobody there.
You don't need room for a human driver. The vehicle is nicely appointed as well. We've got leather seats. Well, obviously it's an I-Pace. Kind of ambient sound playing, which lets you know you're about to ride into the future. So let's go ahead and start this ride.
Hello from Waymo. As we get going, just give us 1 minute to cover a few riding tips.
I mean, I've driven Teslas and obviously vehicles that have some version of self-driving, but to have no driver even in the car or near the steering wheel that can grab it in the event that it's necessary, that is a much different experience.
Did that say founded in 2009?
So the interface is giving me some information here. It's showing me my drop off in 9 minutes. I have a button that lets me pull over if I need to. I can also play music, which I won't do for the purpose of this video. And then there's a menu button as well. Now the menu will let me choose between the map view, music, temperature. You can also learn more about the car, riding tips, and camera privacy. So the cameras are on, but the mics are off. The microphones will turn on when I'm connected to rider support. So otherwise, unless I need support, those microphones will be turned off. The graphic is somewhat confidence inspiring because it's showcasing to you that the vehicle is picking up its surroundings in its entirety, and you're able to see what the vehicle sees. But still,
there's no driver. I don't know. I'm a bit of a control freak. I'm just going to put it out there when I'm driving. If I'm driving with somebody, I can't help it. I concentrate what the driver's doing. It's just something I do. When there's no driver, it's like, oh my God, I don't know how my anxiety would be with that. I mean, it seems perfectly fine. It's going pretty good. What happens when somebody jumps out in front of you or a car or, I mean, how well do you do that if you're a normal driver anyway, you know? Damn,
That
okay.
is a unique experience. Wow. Just driving around LA without...
Hey, that said Westfield. We have Westfields here in Australia.
Wow. Just driving around LA without a driver. Well, I mean, I do have a driver. Waymo is the driver. And at this point, this Waymo technology has tons of miles traveled under its belt, constantly learning and improving. Now, I'm also watching for other people's reactions. They obviously noticed that this car is a bit different. Some of them are...
Imagine being a tourist, you look over and go, there's nobody driving that car, mate. If you didn't know about it, because I didn't know about it, I'd be going, what the hell is going on in America? There's nobody driving their cars.
Noticing that there's no driver in the driver's seat. Multi-lane, left hand into the center lane here.
God.
And one thing I'm noticing right away is just how smooth this driverless system is compared to some of the other stuff I've experienced. The speeding up and slowing down, so far, extremely gradual. I haven't been in this ride for very long, but your mind, given the smoothness of this experience, your mind begins to forget that there's no driver there, or to even consider it. The longer it goes without complication, the smoother it is through transitions, intersections, stoplights. The more convinced you get, and the less nervous you are. Switch to the right lane. So it just made sure that the opening was sufficient. And you'll also notice the distance it's keeping from the vehicle in front. 1.5, maybe even 2 car lengths. This is the type of technology that you could have told me about when I was a child, and I probably wouldn't have believed that in this amount of time we would have something this sophisticated.
What's that white thing? Is that for wind? I don't know what that white thing is.
The other thing to mention is this is a new city. We're here in Los Angeles. Obviously, there's been plenty of testing in San Francisco, but the experience feels sophisticated so far. Ooh, look. Oh, wow, that was really interesting. The light changed to amber, and the vehicle had to make a decision quickly. It had to make a decision whether it could brake in time abruptly or if it should continue to travel forward.
Now the car is making decisions about whether to stop at a yellow light. I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I like the AI learning. We've all seen Terminator. Come on. We've all seen Terminator. We've all seen Total Recall too. It's like, what is going on? Let's have a look at that
whether
again.
It could brake in time abruptly or if it should continue to travel forward as the light shifted to amber. If you saw, the decision that it made was to go through something very similar to what a driver would do, a human driver. It really does have a comprehensive picture of its surroundings.
For your safety, the doors will remain locked when we arrive. Pull the handle twice to exit. The first pull unlocks. The second opens the door. You're here. Please make sure it's clear before exiting.
Okay, we're gonna make sure that it's clear. I'm gonna pull the handle once and twice, and now it's unlocked. Close up the door. Step away from the Waymo.
It's gonna lock itself again.
What a futuristic experience.
There you go.
And a wonderful ride, honestly. I mean, I didn't know what to expect. I knew that things had come a long way. There it goes. It really does give you a sense of how far this technology has come. The approach here is to build sort of the ultimate driver that isn't a human, regardless of what that looks like, having all this LiDAR exposed. And
so, obviously thinking that anything that is computer-based and whatever else, you know, you're talking about hackers and stuff. Can you hack it to get free rides? You know, is it possible if somebody's in there and you make it crash or whatever else? You know, my mind, you know, basically goes to the worst case scenario. That is weird but exciting and definitely futuristic for sure.
Regardless of what that looks like.
Okay.
Having all this LiDAR exposed and so forth. But weirdly, having all those extra sensors and
Okay, so that's what it
components
is,
actually
sensor.
gives you a little bit of
Okay.
extra confidence when you're riding in a vehicle. Same with the voice that's talking to you, the pleasant tones, the variety of displays showcasing the visual of all the obstacles, and then just the driving itself. How smooth. The acceleration, the braking, and the decision making. I mean, I had that one example there where the light changed partway into the intersection. The vehicle noticed and then behaved a lot like a human, like an experienced human driver would. Cool. So I'm just sitting here eating my ice cream.
So there's a million questions running through my brain. You know, I wonder how it deals with, you know, traffic jams and diversions and everything like that. You know, is it connected to the traffic reports and stuff like that? You know, it's so interesting.
Far away from the place where I started this morning, I'm realizing that technology brought me here exclusively. Now, obviously, the people and the programmers and even the service people that can answer a call if there's any kind of question, there's tons of people on the team that are behind the technology, but the technology itself picked me up and brought me here. You know, a person doesn't have 360-degree vision. They've got mirrors. Experience. Humans have decision making, but I just experienced some complex decision making. 2023, and Waymo just brought me for ice cream.
He's going back again? Oh, he's going in the front this time. Okay.
The one spot that you can't occupy is
Drivers, obviously.
the driver's seat. Because you're not supposed to touch the steering wheel. The Waymo driver is in control at all times.
So what happens if you get, you know, somebody who thinks, oh, this will be a laugh? You know, we'll just grab the steering wheel. Does the car just shut off? It's like, yeah, nah, that's it. No more driving for you. I wonder how deep the safety precautions are actually written into the code. You know, like that yellow light, you know, is that written into the code? If it just changes within a second while you're 100 meters away or 50 meters away or whatever it is, that gives you enough time. Is it decision making or is it actually written in the code already? That's okay. That's very interesting.
And the Waymo driver never forgets their seatbelt. Slowly moving in towards the intersection, creeping. These are the nuances of driving that the automated systems have to become sophisticated in. This is a large intersection.
Okay,
Two
so
cars
it's going
have already
to the
entered
left.
the intersection, and they are looking for a spot to make a left-hand turn. There goes number one, number two, amber, and we go. Smooth.
Wow, okay.
I actually think the thing that people are going to notice most when they get a chance to experience this is the smoothness. I mean, no offense to any existing drivers. There are plenty out there that are very capable, but some are a little bit more abrupt on the acceleration and the braking. Whereas in the case of the Waymo vehicle here, you can take that very smooth curve and apply it to the entire fleet. You can find a satisfying rhythm and then roll it out to every vehicle on the streets. Hey, have you guys seen these cars with no driver, right? No driving. I think the wildest part for me is just how quickly you get used to the idea. At first, you're apprehensive. Like when you watch the car approach, you go, okay, no driver. But it doesn't take you very many miles traveled smoothly for you to embrace the Waymo driver and assume that it's going to make good decisions. It's wild how quickly that changes. And
I'm just thinking about also about safety. You know, it comes back to safety but I'm just thinking about, you know, women when they're going home at nighttime, they don't have to worry about a driver because there's nobody in the car. You know, children going to school, they don't have to worry about, you know, people in the car. But then it comes down to if somebody hacks it and you're vulnerable in the car and then they, basically kidnap you. I wonder what kind of protocols and safety and everything else is actually in the actual code. I think that's great. I think it's fantastic. It looks amazing. It looks amazing so far. We've just been driving around the streets. We haven't really come across any kind of major decisions at the moment, but it's a very interesting technology. Very, very interesting.
Suppose that's the case with any innovative technology is you quickly adopt it because of the convenience and because of the sophistication, and then eventually it becomes normal. The better the technology is, the more quickly it becomes normal and acceptable. Turn signal, car to the left. Car turns into the left lane, we go into the far lane. Nice gradual acceleration. Since it's selecting the pickup and drop-off point, selecting for spots within its mapping that it perceives as safe or good spots for these drop-offs. So in this case, you're using tremendous amounts of information in order to determine where those drop-off points are. And in many cases, it's only a minute walk from your destination anyways, so it's a worthwhile transaction. 2 and out. Door handles in, and bye-bye Waymo. Car's getting lots of attention from the public, including people that was passing well in the vehicle. But equally now, when it's driving with no one, not even a passenger, there it goes.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, what?
Sees the pedestrians, waits.
Okay. See,
Slowly.
we never saw that in the camera. You can't see those pedestrians at the first bit. See, you don't see them. And I'm thinking, where the hell is it going? But we didn't see him on the left-hand side. We couldn't see him from the frame, that out of frame. I thought, okay, we might have found a little bug, but no. Okay.
Ooh.
We didn't see them
pedestrians.
At first. Yeah. Okay.
Waits. Slowly proceeds. Smart.
I got to tell you, that was very interesting. That was very interesting. It looks like it's great technology. It's obviously been around for a few years now, but still new enough in Los Angeles that, people are fascinated with it still. But it's definitely got potential to be rolled out, around the world. But as I said, it's the safety and everything else, because you're going to get some idiot that's in there trying to grab the steering wheel and whatever else, or try to take advantage of it and whatever else. So then it comes down to how is that then going to react to human nature? Because we're idiots. But that simple, getting in, getting dropped off within Los Angeles is pretty bloody impressive by itself. There's nobody driving. It's just going on information it has, what it sees in real time, and then actually, responds to that stimuli. That's bloody interesting technology. I tell you, that is very, very interesting. So, but Waymo, we'll have to keep an eye out, and I'll definitely have to keep an eye out if we get anything like that in Australia. It will be very interesting to see how it rolls out across the world. But that was great. Great little video. Let me know if you enjoyed that one, guys. Thank you very much for joining me today. Make sure you stay safe, and I'll definitely see you in the next reaction video. Oh, you're still here? You want more content? Why don't you check out my Patreon down here? You'll get plenty more content and some exclusive videos over there too. If not, why not check out this one over here?